Hello everybody, my name is Jesus Arguelles, and in today's video I'm going to talk you about a document which is called Legal Translation Explain. In that document they explain like some things like problems, characteristics that a legal translator must have and what involves legal translator. Okay, first we need to take into consideration that the translation in the legal field, it is one of the most difficult. Why? Because legal field is such as a language. It is so wide, and as a language you never end to learn a language, so you never end to learn something in the legal field. Okay. uh, First, in the document they talk about four main aspects. First is the most important aspects of the legal English as a linguistic system. Why as a linguistic system? Well, we need to take into consideration that while we are translating documents, we need to be very careful. Why? Because as a in this case they analyze it as a legal as a linguistic system. And why? Because they check the most minimum parts. It means that they check the equivalence of the words. Why the equivalence? Equivalence are like the words that we use to translate other words, but sometimes they doesn't have an equivalence of one word, so they need a phrase or something like that. Okay. Legal in the legal field, as I mentioned, it is a field very wide, very broad, and the learning of this field is gradually and progressively, which it means that we goes from the most easiest part to the hardest part. Okay. uh, in this case, we need to check like the correct we need to make the use of some linguistic aspects such as polysemy, eponymy, antonyms, synonyms, but they need to be understandable. The second part is the features that of the um, of the system, of the English system, uh, but in the legal field. Intrinsic and contrastive. Why? Because a legal translator needs to be like surrounded and always be learning about the culture of the document, of the original text, and also the language that they are going to translate. It means that uh, translating, it is not as easy as you think, because we need to be surrounded by the culture. Intrinsic, it means that in the own culture, like for example you have a text in English, you need to be surrounded by the culture of English. And contrastive, of another language. For example, in this case in Spanish, you need to be surrounded by the culture of Spanish. Why? Because in that way it is more easy for you to translate a document. And also you don't have only to possess like a general knowledge. In the legal field there are some specific branches that you need to domain those branches. Well, that it means that you need to have a specialized specialized knowledge, and also for the terms. And also we have definition of the translation method. Why? Because in some cases, well, legal translation, in legal translation we cannot apply a literal translation. Why? Because legal, it is not a field which can be understandable in a yeah, in a literally way. It needs to be like more what you understand from the text and translate it into the other language, but not with the same words. Also, you have, as I mentioned, you have to be very careful with equivalence in order for the others not to misunderstood what you wanted to say. And also, and finally, the exploration of the stylish and linguistic resources which a translator must possess. Why? In some cases, you know that some terms doesn't exist in the other language, and that is the problem. And there you need to know. Well, the translator needs to know the methods, the techniques that they can apply in those cases. Like, for example, maybe they can put it as it is, and at the end of the translation they can put it like a note of the translator in explaining what that it means. But in other cases they need to find another equivalence, and this is why it is important to know about the cultures. And yeah, that is basically what this text was about, and I hope you have understood all of the points. Thank you for watching. See you next.